Hi, I'm Duncan from FlowDNA. In this episode of my vlog, I am going to be talking about where I intend to go. If you missed the previous episode about where I am coming from, feel free to follow this link, which may or may not be a link if you are in YouTube or not. I founded FlowDNA primarily in order to get more flow arts props into South Africa. This meant a lot of importing, because not a lot of people make these kinds of props where I come from. I never imagined myself being a businessman before. I always identified as a technical artist, with very little interest in handling money in any way. I do all my things for artistic intentions. I particularly never wanted to own a shop, but my desire for more flow arts was far greater than my reluctance to do accounting. I felt that attempting to get over myself and my decommodified philosophies would allow me to create better reasons to make the kind of art that I want to make. Getting over myself has been challenging. I think I'm almost there though. Over time, I started finding shapes that I wanted, but I couldn't get into South Africa at an affordable price, such as S-stars. Then I decided to use the same fabrication methods to make comfortable practice tech fans. Because I didn't like the feel of steel wire tech fans, which apparently need to be oiled if you don't want blisters. I wanted to have wedge shapes that I could manipulate in juggly, circusy, techy, boxy kind of ways that suited my preference. I found myself inventing shapes in order to fill these kinds of gaps, not only in South Africa, but also around the world. I noticed over time that there are far more artists like me out there in countries like America and developed parts of the world. I started to adjust my sales platforms to accommodate for them. I also arranged for international courier delivery, so that I could get my props out there to the people who know what they are made for and want to dance with them, like me. So now I have, to a large extent, created a system that can supply the demand of South African flow artists and also start to serve people from around the world. The other things that I wanted to do with flow arts are teaching and entertainment. My goals are now to focus more on creating content, be it prop designs, education, or entertainment. I have a long list of shapes in my head and it keeps getting longer, and I would really like to have them all manifested eventually, even if it isn't possible. And it isn't possible, because there is an infinite number of possible shapes out there, and they're not all in my head. They might be in other people's heads. They could even be in your head. Maybe there are people out there who have these kinds of shapes in their heads and they want to play with them, but they don't know where to start with sourcing materials and fabrication processes. I would like to help. I can teach you how to fish. How to make various different props, and possibly even sell them. You could even sell them in one of my international vending machines. If we are going to be advancing the technology of these arts, it would be best if we did it together. I am going to be documenting the processes that I use to make my props. You will be able to follow my progress on my Patreon channel. When I was studying animation, I was incredibly happy to find that the artists that came before me had been sharing their knowledge in the form of technical art video tutorials. This is primarily how I have learned every digital tool that I have ever used, and I have used a lot of them. When I started learning Poi, I was again happy to find that there were also video tutorials for that. The fact that you can type just about any question into Google and it will find a video tutorial for you is absolutely amazing. And I don't think that most people even realize that pretty much all of recorded human knowledge is readily available for you right there on your smartphone, basically. Flow arts prop design, however, seems to be lacking in some of these things. Sure, there are lots of DIY tutorials for many different props. Some of them are really good, particularly for poi, staves, and hoops. Not a lot of anything out there for CAD designing shapes and getting them cut out by a robot, though. I would like to teach people how to make toys using robots and lasers, because robots and lasers are freaking cool, man. I also have other simple methods of making toys using recycled or household materials, and I will be showing these methods too. I will also be talking about various areas of research that I've been working on, which I believe to be supportive subjects that can help you with your ability to create art of any type that pleases you. This will include excerpts of my personal philosophies, medicine for burns and physical injuries, herbal treatments, and nutrition to keep your body and mind healthy and active, breathing techniques, stretching, endurance exercises, brain teasers, probably some martial arts, film and post-production tutorials, animation principles and how I apply them to performance arts, neurolinguistics theory, music and alternative use of audio theory, cartwheels, meditation, ethics, culture, history, and a whole lot of other stuff that I can't think of words for right now. I will be collaborating with other artists who may have skills or approaches that are different to my own. Or maybe even they just want to be on my show and they can say or do cool things. Basically, I will be pulling out all the stops on the various nuggets of skills and information at my disposal in order to help you to succeed in any activity that you feel would help to stimulate your state of flow. I might even do some prop manipulation tutorials again. There are other things that I would like to do with this channel, such as distraction tests of my prototype props. Now that I am making fire props for commercial sale across international borders, there are a few more things that I will need to consider. One of them is safety. In my own country, I can trust to a large extent that I will be able to provide enough information that people will play with my props safely and remain aware of their environment. Also, in South Africa, people have a natural tendency to make a plan for themselves when things go wrong. It's one of the things you'll find in a culture that has to struggle a little bit more to survive. When people are on the other side of the world, however, I need to ensure that I have a more defined system of guidelines so that I can be more confident that my props are going to be manipulated appropriately. It is also not efficient to be sending props back across the world for lifetime warranty maintenance. I would much prefer if they just didn't break. So I will be needing to do tests that involve burning and destroying my props. I have spent basically all the money that I have ever earned on making these props, and it takes months, depending, for me to save up enough just to make one. So if I'm going to be destroying my beloved props in the name of science, I think I would like to get paid for it. I will produce quality edutaining videos that involve these destruction tests. I will also be producing behind-the-scenes content of our research and development. We might even show you the things that we tried that didn't work. Trying things and failing is fun. It's how we learn. Some of the tiers on our Patreon channel will provide you with coupon codes for our online shop. These discounts are currently for all products. Eventually I might change it to just the products that we make. You can also requisition my services as a freelance artist or prop designer at the ridiculous rate of something like $6 per hour. I am willing to work at this minimal rate because I will be producing time-lapse video tutorials from the content that I create, so that my generous patrons can learn from how I do things. This is something that I call open process work. The final products that I make through this service will be licensed as open source with attribution. If you want me to design something for you with non-disclosure, I am going to expect a little bit more from you. Another intention is promotion. Every now and then, I will be advertising collaborative companies without sponsorship. I will show their logos and I will say their names for free because I like to promote the companies that do the things that I like. I do not need their money, they are my friends and I want them to succeed. This has been my primary marketing strategy for the last 7 years. These logos and links are for my actual friends, people who have helped me to get to where I am today. They have not sponsored this message. They are all awesome in their own way. Fire Tribe, Playpoi, The Psychedelic Theatre, Connect and Flow, Flow Toys, Homopoi, Oddwheel Unicycles, Fire Toys, Raised in Flames, Tatawari Flow Arts, Fire is a Light, Bush Ninja Botanicals, Manipulating Light Photography, Prefix Photography, Sesonke Social Circus, Sarah Kate Illustrations, Kushido School of Martial Arts, Freedom School of Martial Arts, The Art of Flow Podcast, Evolve Fire and Entertainment, and Moya Movement and Coaching. You can find links to learn more about them in the description of this video. Please, my friends, if I left you out, send me your logos and links so that I can put them over here and we can all make more money. If you are one of my patrons, thank you very much for your support, and thank you everyone for watching. Please remember to click subscribe and like, and follow FlowDNA on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and maybe even Twitter, and have an amazing unit of time further. See you next time.